everyone, it's Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique. So today I'm at the store while we're closed because it's a whole lot easier to make these videos when we're closed. And I'm going to show you how to make this really great bracelet. It's got a little bit of leather bling on the front and a really unique clasp closure. So come and join me and I'll show you how simple it is. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to make this really adorable bracelet. We've got some 10mm leather here and it's got some inset crystals. And then I've made a unique closure on the back by using a button and some leather and a few little findings. So we're going to start with our 10mm leather. And I'm going to cut about, I'm going to make this one so that I can wear it. So I think I'm going to make it about 6 inches long. I think the sample I did about 5 inches long. So just trim that off with a sharp pair of scissors. Okay, so you're going to see on the end here we have a crystal and we need to remove that to get it inside our little finding here. So I am just going to pop that out. It just pops out super simple. And then I'm going to use my pliers to just remove that little bit of rubber casing that they use to keep the crystal in. And I'm going to repeat on the other end. There we go. So the first thing I like to do, we're going to use these little glue-in ends. They're a little cord end. So I just like to dry fit them to make sure that they're going to fit on either end. And those are good. So I'm going to use Loctite glue. What I like about this is it's gel control, so instead of being super liquid, you can actually have a little bit more control. Now, one of the things you want to make sure that you don't do is overdo it with this stuff. You could put a little bit on the end of your leather, but I tend to want to put it inside my tube. So just don't put too much. I put too much on my first sample and it just ended up gooping all over the place. And this stuff is super strong. Now I do recommend making this, see some just kind of came out the end there, but that's not too bad. You don't want to get it on your hands. I do recommend making this and then letting this part dry a little bit before you move forward. Just hope that doesn't stick down there. Because it is a super strong glue, you know, you want to give it time to set up. There we go. So it's about finding out, you know, that sort of happy balance of not too much, but enough. All right, so I'm just going to put that aside for a second and always make sure you put your lid on your glue. Okay, so now I'm going to make this little embellishment part and then we'll attach it. It's a little bit easier to make it and then attach it while we're letting that glue sort of set up. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 10 inches of 2mm leather and pull that through our loop there, or our ring, and I'm going to take my little tube and place it through, and I'm going to go around once and twice and then put it through the back end of the tube, and then while holding on to that I'm going to pull and then pull the little tube right out, and you'll see that that makes a nice little knot. So I'm going to pull on the opposite one to get it down where I want it, and then I'm going to pull on the one that I wrapped with to tighten up. You want to make sure that you're keeping these nice and neat. So you've got a nice little barrel knot on there. Okay? Now I need to make my next one wide enough to accommodate my button. So I just kind of do a little bit of a dry fit, and it needs to be about that big. So I'm going to turn it over because this is my longest piece now. I'm going to place my tube in between the leathers, take my long piece, pull it towards me, go around once and go around twice, and pop that through the end, pull it through, and I want to get this one up where so it's big enough to go through there before I tighten it up. So I just kind of place my fingers about where I need it to be. Just double check that that's going to go through, because once this is done up, it's pretty tight. All right, so again, I just place my fingers there, and then I push against my fingers so that I end up with the exact size. So make it really nice and tight. And then we are going to trim off a little bit. Now I do find that this can come loose, so I'm not going to put it on because I don't want it to get goopy while I'm trying to make the video. I'm going to put a little bit of the Loctite glue in between here. I just sort of separate it and put a little bit in there, and then I'm going to put just a little dab on the other side here just to hold it. Okay, so we've got that part done. All right, so now I'm going to embellish my little loop here. So I'm going to take I've got a nice balled up head pin, and I've got a pretty piece of check glass here, and then I'm going to take a little faceted glass rondelle, and I've got a little spacer here because I find these little rondelles have a bit of a dip inside there. So by putting that inside, it kind of stops it from moving around too much. Okay, so now I'm going to do a messy wrap on this, so I'm just going to bend it over. And taking my round nose pliers, I want to have it, make sure I've got a big enough loop to go over top of this ring. So I'm going to go up and over and down and pivot. And now you can see it's really off kilter there. So I'm just going to rotate it over till it's sitting right where I want it to. I'm going to put that on the loop. And then I'm going to turn it so that I can wrap this up. So I want to get my pliers on there as much as I can, and I find this a little bit hard to pull on, so I'm going to just kind of grab my bent chain nose pliers and go around a couple times towards my bead, and then I'm going to work my way back up. And we want just a little sort of a messy wrap here. So once I get what I want there, I'll trim off the end. And then I'm just going to tuck that little burr down. I don't like it when things get caught. And then using one of my large jump rings, I'm going to open that up and attach one of these lovely little tiara cast charms on the other side there. And make sure you do up your jump rings as tightly as you can, because bracelets take a lot of abuse. All right, so there we have our little embellishment. So now I'm going to put together the rest of the bracelet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got 3 small jump rings, and I'm going to attach those to the button. So I take one and put it through here. I like to do 3 because it needs a little bit of an extension on there. And you want to have lots of room for movement when it comes to your buttons. Nothing worse than having a button that's really tight. And on the last one, I'm just going to attach it right to the button. All right, and then on the other end, we're going to open up one of these large jump rings. And then run it through the end there. Do that up nice and tight. And there you go. I love finishing off my ends like this. It gives it a really nice stylish finish, and it just gives it that little extra something. So there you go. We will have these in kit form. They come in tan, the black, and also in a really pretty purple. All your beads will be coordinated. I'll have them all listed down below. Make sure that if you like this video, that you like it, that you subscribe to my videos, and if you want to leave a comment, I always get back to everybody that leaves a comment. Thanks again for watching today.